me in any way, shape, or form until this absolute moment. Okay, you're going to see me doing this. This is just a form of distraction that benefits me. My hand is not under any mysterious control. Nothing weird here is going on or whichever. Okay, so without further ado, let us begin. And as I said, whatever I say to you, just keep it yes, no, or that you understand only. And away we go. First of all, a male presence has come into the room. And another one, and a female also. Another male who seems to stay in the background, so no doubt he probably could be somebody of a later generation. They all talk about being family, so I'm sure they are. Now, they put family in your direction, so I assume you're family somehow, yes?
Yes.
Okay. But somebody's coming in and saying like they were Bernie or Bernard. Also, Margaret is here? Passed on?
Yes.
Because she must have just walked into the room. Also named Helen? Passed on? Because she just walked in the room also. In this group of people that have so far come through, there's talk about the younger male that passed on. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, because whoever he is claiming he was the first one in the room. So naturally, he wants to go first. Also, Bob, Robert, passed on?
Yes.
Who says he's family, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
He states you're his folks, that's true?
Yes.
Yes.
So it must be your son.
Yes.
He's an uncle?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's congratulating himself. So apparently one of his siblings, there's a birth of a child coming up, and he's an uncle, he states. Also, your son speaks of you moving. Were you thinking of moving?
No.
I'm going to leave it with you anyway, because he speaks of you moving and just wants to let you know it's all right. Oh, I see shamrocks around you. That makes sense?
Yes.
Let me guess. You're of Irish heritage?
Yes.
Wow, that was a good psychic thing. But St. Patrick, in your case, has something more specific. Because your son keeps circling the name again, telling me that there's more specific, even though he doesn't say it out. But your son must have had a good sense of humor, yes?
Yes.
He's kind of teasing me. He tells me there's a lurching at the heart.
Yes.
But he does tell me his heart fails.
Yes.
But like that.
Yes.
Because I don't mean to sound impolite, but it's like he drops dead.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he tells me he drops dead.
Yes.
He also thanks for the memorial, make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And the planting.
Yes.
Okay, so as he's saying, he just wants to address more that you're suffering versus the fact that you keep it so internal. Because unfortunately, you've lost your son, but you've also lost your best friend. Excuse my way of putting it, but I can't express it better. It's just, every time you think about his passing, you're just so pissed off. But he embraces both of you with love, and he especially asks you, his dad, to try to put yourself more at peace. You've got to let go a lot of the anger and frustration. I see St. Jude appear behind you as a symbol of hopelessness. You just feel so desolate and hopeless, and you've got to try to... You're never going to be yourself again, but don't let your grief be your downfall. That's what I think he's driving at. He signs off, the others do too. They send their love until we meet again, and there they go. Okay, away they went, signed off.
I felt that he was talking to me. I mean, it was just too many things that were being said that he sort of like directed directly at me that made me feel his presence, you know. It was overwhelming, I'll say that. It was very overwhelming. It's probably got me on blubbering, but there's nothing I could do. I couldn't hold back. It just, too many coincidences.
George was very accurate in describing the way Robert died,
Yeah.
which is something only his girlfriend knew. And she had shared with us, and we never told anybody else. My daughter is having a baby, and he knows about that. And this isn't something that we told anybody. His friends did plant a tree in his memory and started a foundation.
He was vague about some things. Moving, we're not moving, unless, like, maybe he thinks to move on in terms of how we feel in our grief and stuff. But I'm not sure about that either. A good day? No. Just
A good day would be Robert walking in the door. That would be a good day.
going in the fridge and grabbing those 2 buds I left for him.
The human being is both particle-like, individual-like, here and now, and wave-like, extended throughout space and time. And so are my loved ones, wave-like and extended throughout space and time. So we, human beings, when we become close to each other, overlap and combine like waves overlapping on a pond. And we get written into each other. My beloved grandmother is woven into my being. And I laugh as she laughed, I cry as she cried, she is part of me. Which means that we guarantee each other a kind of immortality.
We both believe that consciousness survives this life. Obviously, the body doesn't. And we will be in contact with each other, just as we have been in this life. And we look forward to that. It's very hopeful.
My personal opinion is I don't think there's any such thing as life after death. That's my personal belief.
It is mysterious beyond the veil. Nobody knows. It may be really wonderful, and probably it is.
Well, I think people can come back after they're deceased, but it's a hard thing to prove, but actually I believe it.
I dream about my mother all the time, so I know she's around. I think I'll see her pretty soon when I die. We'll get together.
It's stupid to be afraid of death. Death is a pleasure.
Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was one of the pioneers of the American hospice movement. Her great contribution was the 5 stages of dying and the defenses that a person uses to deal with the fact of their inevitable and upcoming death.
That's my favorite.
She currently is living in Arizona. She has suffered a series of strokes, but she is still writing and still conducting her research. Her decades of clinical experience and her work with the dying have led her to the conclusion that death does not exist, that death is a transition between life and what she believes is the afterlife. This work has been extremely controversial, to say the least.
I got lots of criticism. They said, now she's no longer scientific. I said, I'm more scientific than you are. I checked out every aspect of life after death. I've been at beds of thousands of dying patients. I almost always knew who waits for them and that they are very close to death. Even if you die very suddenly and unexpectedly, there's always somebody waiting for you that you love.
It may take the rest of society and science some years to catch up with it, but probably as her work stems from her research with the terminally ill, that it's equally of value.
I get too many letters from all over the world. About 250,000 pieces every year. 1,000,000 questions, mainly about my favorite subject, death and life after death. A lot of people say that's baloney. And I tell them